Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the collective. There's no specific subject matter. I'm just going to pull the cards and see what advice I can give you all. Things have been pretty intense for the past few messages that have come through, and so I'm just trying to, balance things out. Okay, we need to balance things out here, and just check in and see what's going on and see what advice I can give you. Thank you all for liking and subscribing to my channel, for those of you who find that my messages resonate with you, and for those of you who continue to watch and support my channel. I love all of you, and I thank you all for joining me, and for the comments and the donations and the beautiful emails, everything that you all send. I acknowledge it, and I am very much so in appreciation of it. So let's get right into it and see what is the message that's coming out at this time. I hope everybody is doing well and staying balanced, doing what's necessary to alchemize the energy around you, and to maintain that inner peace, okay? So let's just see. Okay, so the first cards we have coming out is Passion Ignited, and then we have here Balancing Spirituality and Practicality. So I feel like some of you are feeling passionate about a new, exciting beginning, okay? I feel like there's a new start that's happening for many of you, and this is a really good time to balance out. I feel like you've already been doing it, balancing out the spiritual aspect of your existence with the physical aspect of your existence, and those practical things that you need to take care of from a day-to-day basis. And because you're doing that, it's opening up new doors is what I'm picking up on, okay? And so I feel like there's a shakeup that's happening, but this is a good shakeup. So you know how you go through those tower moments where you have that negative disruption that has to take place in order to clear out a lot of toxic energy. I feel like many of you have already done this. And so this is a time to really be proud of yourselves. Give yourselves a pat on the back, do that praise dance, whatever it is you need to do to remind yourself of the sacrifices that you made and knowing that they were not in vain, okay? All of these things have been definitely acknowledged by the Most High and your spiritual team. And so now it's time for you to acknowledge how far you have come, okay? So I do see that passion is ignited. There's something to be very excited about. Maybe some of you are becoming more passionate about your spiritual journey. Maybe you're starting to see things from a higher perspective, and so you're excited about that. And you're starting to use the spiritual tools that you have to shift the energy, breaking those generational curses and doing that inner work on yourself. Then others of you, there's that energy of new exciting things that's happening in your life externally, and you're just excited that those doors are opening. So let's just see what else is coming out here. Trust the universe here, and the crown chakra. So these are, I feel like these two cards are in alignment for me, because with the number 7 coming out here, it's showing me that this is spiritually trusting that everything that you are projecting out there is going to come back to you. So that means that many of you are operating from a space where you are very conscious of the thoughts that you're having, and how you're speaking, the energy that you're projecting. You're conscious of these things now. You're no longer asleep. You're no longer just passively walking through life, with your eyes closed, but now you see things more clearly. I feel like you've taken the driver's seat of your life and you're steering this thing, okay? And so trust that the Most High has got you. Trust that everything is going to work out in your favor in divine timing and divine order, okay? So crown chakra is showing me that you definitely have that divine connection there, and because of that, beautiful things are happening in your favor. So I feel like many of you are taking the leap of faith. It's like that energy of, that fresh start, that exciting new beginning, and just kind of just jumping. You've cleared out so much of the baggage and the heavy things that was weighing you down. So now it's like, okay, I'm going to take this leap of faith, but I'm excited about taking this leap of faith. I'm excited about the new beginning that awaits me. And so I feel like many of you have this clean slate that you are moving towards. And so, yes, definitely a new start is happening for you all. That's too many cards. So let's see. Okay, so we'll take these two. So we have here sacrifice and unleash your kindest self. So I feel like you know, sacrifices here and unleash your kindest self. This is showing me that some of you you're starting to see that the sacrifices that you made, like I said from the beginning, was not in vain here. You're starting to gain a different perspective of life. And I feel like this is allowing you to balance out your emotions in spite of those things that might have happened around you to get you where you're headed now. You've learned how to balance those emotions. And so with the unleash your kindest self, it's that energy of maintaining, keeping that heart chakra open. In spite of what's happening around you, you see things from a higher perspective now. So it's like you don't have to walk around in this energy of bitterness, sadness, grief, because you understand that any changes that takes place in your life is literally confirmation that those seeds that you have planted are taking root, okay? And so it's this energy of, okay, the more you project the energy of love and you stay in that kind-hearted spirit, that light energy, the more you are attracting, because the heart chakra, when it's balanced, that's the energy of attracting, okay? If you want to attract something to you, your heart chakra is where it's at. And so I feel like many of you, you are unleashing that kindest version of yourself, okay? Some of you have had to take this journey alone. And I feel like now you're okay with that. Now you're okay with the sacrifices that you've had to make in terms of cutting out certain people, places, and things. And you see the higher reasoning behind all of these things. And so I feel like you're shedding a lot of layers as far as those aspects of yourself that was inauthentic to who you are. You're starting to really become comfortable in your own skin, and, you know, more transparent, more vulnerable, and you're okay with that. You don't feel the need to wear this armor anymore because you recognize that you possess the tools to be the spiritual warrior. You have been the spiritual warrior. And so you know that you have everything that you need to shift and to alchemize and to balance out the energy. You recognize that inner peace it's a gift, it's a blessing. And I feel like many of you have been able to tap into that, okay? So yeah, let me see what else is coming out here. So definitely be proud of yourself. You've come a long way. You have here, look at this, victory and success. Go ahead and celebrate. Go ahead and blow the trumpet, you know, because victory and success is yours. You've created that harmony, that balance within. And so now it's time for you to blow the trumpet. Let the world know you've made it. You climbed that mountain. You made it to the top of this mountain here. So now, you know, when you get to the top of that mountain, you have a lot of potential energy. You got a lot of potential energy and things that you can do with that energy from that higher perspective, because you can see more possibilities from that height. You see what I'm saying? And so I feel like this is a time to celebrate your victory, because there's so much potential from where you stand. There's so much potential from where you are spiritually and physically. And so this is a time of rejoicing here. And it's like you're in this energy of celebrating your own victory. You don't need anyone to celebrate your victory for you anymore. I feel like you're in this space now where you're so comfortable with who you are and how far you've come that you see that unless it's genuinely coming from other people, you don't really need it. You don't need it. Maybe in the past it was something that you needed, where other people had it, you know, how they say someone else has to toot your horn for you, but now it's like, no, you tooting your own horn. You blowing the trumpet on your own behalf, because you know what it took for you to get here. You know how much, disruption and, inner disruption, things that you had to heal internally, things that you had to clear out externally. You know how far you have come. And so the one who's going to be your biggest cheerleader is you, because you got to watch this play out. Okay, you was the one that was watching all of these things unfold, and you understand the higher reason behind all of these things happening in your life. No one can understand these things better than you can, okay? And so other people looking from the outside in, they might have said, oh, his life is going to hell. Her life has gone to hell, and some of them was laughing about it. Some of them thought that you know, they had gained the victory over you because you was going through so many things. But no, the Most High had a different plan. It was, okay, all of this chaotic energy is happening because you asked, you prayed, okay? You declared and you decreed that changes would happen. You declared and you decreed that all of those things that were surrounding you that didn't serve your highest good and your forward movement would be cleared out. And so when you create that type of chaotic energy in the spiritual realm, there's a physical reflection of that. There's things that have to unfold and be moved out the way in the physical realm in order for these doors to open that used to be shut. You see what I'm saying? But you see it now. You recognize why you had to take those financial losses, why you had to lose certain partnerships, why you lost certain friendships, certain family members, certain career paths ended up shifting. Your spiritual belief systems ended up shifting. Like, a lot of changes have been happening in this time of awakening. We are in a beautiful time, okay? I always tell y'all we're in the age of in the age of Aquarius, the time of the reveal, you know, the time where we're starting to wake up, not only to what's happening around us, but to who we are and why we're here. And that's a beautiful thing to have an awareness of, because when you're aware of the spiritual nature of what's happening in life and you're no longer blinded by the matrix, there's so many things that you can do in terms of shifting your circumstances, because you know where the blockages are coming from, and you possess the spiritual tools to move them. You see what I'm saying? You have that divine connection. And so I feel like this is a beautiful time, you know. So this is why that passion is ignited within you, because you all have found that balance. You have foundations and achievements. So security is yours, okay? With the number 4 here, security is yours. And also with the rainbow coming out, I have 2 different cards with the rainbow in it, which shows me that you all are very protected, divinely protected by the Most High and your spiritual team. I see that some of you may be coming into union with people that, you know, that you love, people that love you and that you love back, okay? People that balance you, people that you can build with, people that you can have long-term security with. So whether this is friendships, relationships, you know, business partnerships, I see growth, I see expansion, I see a solid foundation that's immovable. I feel like, you know, this is that firm foundation that you created it within first. As within, so without. And so because you all have done the work to create that solid foundation within, you're now welcoming in things that are a direct reflection of that in the physical realm. So this is something that's going to be long lasting that you have created here. And I also feel like it's generational. So for those of you who have been doing the generational curse breaking, this will be passed down to your children. You know, as you can see, this child is also standing there with the mother and the father, or this couple here. And this child is able to relish in and to actually embrace and to find appreciation for the work, the hard work that has been put in, and the foundation that has been laid and established here. And this child is also out witnessing this rainbow, which symbolizes that the child recognizes that they too are protected. So yes, you all have been putting in some major work. And so congratulations to all of you who have been working in the body of Christ consciousness to shift the energy, okay? It has not been in vain. So we also have here opportunities. So some of you might be kind of fearing certain opportunities that's being presented to you. So if there's any residual energy of fear, now that you're taking this leap of faith, or you are at the top of that mountain and now you're being called to, all right, scan your environment. Which direction do you want to go? Because the possibilities are infinite, okay? And so you could be in this energy of kind of hesitating, okay, where's this taking me? You know, with this trapped in fear card, there is some hesitation here in regards to some sort of opportunity that could be presenting itself to you. But I strongly suggest that that's another thing that, okay, when you come into awareness, awareness is a gift. When you're aware of your fears, when you're aware of your insecurities or any feelings that could be creating blockages from an internal space, then you use your spiritual tools to alchemize the energy. And one of those spiritual tools for me is writing, burning, and releasing. So we see that there's some fear here in regards to an opportunity that has presented itself, but this is self-imposed entrapment here. And I feel like it's all mental. And so I destroy and I release all fear, of taking advantage of new opportunities. I destroy and I release all obstruction that I may be creating emotionally, spiritually, or physically that can hinder me from taking advantage of new opportunities in spirit and in flesh. And you burn it. And you call on your spiritual team and you give thanks to them for helping you to clear that energy out. Because whatever this is, this could be in regards to your abundance with the number 8 here. Maybe there's a new opportunity, a new direction that you can go down in terms of creating abundance for yourself. Or, I mean, this could be in regards to anything. Let me clarify and see what's going on here with the trapped in fear. Okay, transformation is what came out here. So transformation, this deals with major changes, okay? And this is also with the number 4 here. So this could be changes concerning your foundation, changes concerning your security. Something that has to be put to rest here, because the transformation card is also the same as the death card. So that scorpionic energy, something that needs to be put to rest is what I'm picking up here in order for major changes to happen. And so this trapped in fear is clarified by the death card. So fear of some sort of final ending. Fear of some sort of final ending, but that ending, allowing that ending to take place is going to lead you towards a brand new opportunity. Let me pull another one for trapped in fear. Okay, that's a lot of cards, but I'll take them. So yeah, what came out first is partnerships and alliances. So this could be dealing with new partnerships. You know, maybe you're trapped in fear in regards to releasing an old partnership that might open up a door, a new opportunity for a new partnership, whether this is friendships, business, romantic partnerships. I do see a fiery climax approaches here. Something that has been building in momentum in the spiritual realm is getting ready to come to a full climax here. And so I feel like it could indicate that something needs to come to a close now, or it already has, and maybe there's a fear of taking advantage of the new opportunity that's presenting itself to you at this time because of the conflict that you have dealt with in the past concerning that. Before that ending took place here, there was, you know, a lot of darkness that you had to come out of, a lot of changes that you ended up going through as a result of this. And so this light is down here, you know, this little lamp is down here. I feel like this is an opportunity to, you know, shine that light on those areas where you have that fear of the past or fear of going backwards, okay? Fear of going backwards, because you've done the work. There's no need to be afraid of these new opportunities that's coming in. I don't see you going back into that old energy again, because you have too many tools to change your circumstances. You recognize that your mind creates things. And so if you are projecting the energy of fear when it comes to this new opportunity that's presenting itself, and you're anticipating or fearful that the same type of scenario may play out based on the past, then you are recreating the past through your thoughts. And so this is where you want to get more focused and allow your dominant thoughts to be centered around the potential outcome of how things could go if you focus in on the future, but creating a future that's in alignment with what you want through your thoughts, rather than a future that is not in alignment with what you want by worrying or being overly focused on the past. Because right behind this, you have don't let your past hold you back. So for some of you, a tower moment has happened in your past concerning certain people, places, or things. And there's an ending that has happened that's bringing a major transformation into your life, that's opening up a new opportunity, a new start. And it's presenting itself and it's saying, you know, the message that you're being guided is through is saying, take the leap of faith. You've made it this far. Take the opportunity to start brand new. This is a clean slate that's going to give you a solid foundation, something that is stable here. But the South Node energy sometimes can be hard to pull yourself up out of, because the South Node energy is that energy of being comfortable in your current position, okay? And so even if you're uncomfortable, it's that energy of becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so it's like that familiar feeling, okay? Because I can't even pronounce the other way to say it. So that familiar feeling that keeps you, you know, stuck there, because it's like, even though it brought a lot of conflict and defeat into my life, it's still, I'm used to it, you know? And so I feel like this is the opportunity for change. This is the opportunity to head towards your North Node, which is looking up, which is that energy of evolving, rising higher. And so I feel like wherever you're being guided to go at this time, it's going to take you into new heights, okay? You're going to be able to fly, because this transformation card that came out has someone who came out of the cocoon and turned into a butterfly. So you are going to be flying higher, and it's going to give you more opportunities that you can take advantage of, because now you're able to do things now that you wasn't able to do before because you limited yourself. Or maybe you felt like your circumstances that you was in limited your ability to do different things. But now you have many different opportunities, infinite opportunities and possibilities that can present themselves if you allow it to, if you welcome it in. So do what's necessary. You know, I destroy and I release all energies of the past that holds me back from becoming the highest and greatest version of myself in spirit and in flesh. Burn it. Go back and light you a candle, write on that candle, you know, get you a glass candle and write on it, I excitingly and passionately embrace new opportunities. You know, I readily, you know, take the leap of faith towards my destiny. You know, I embrace new starts. I embrace new opportunities. Write these things down on your candle in spirit and in flesh, and let it burn through, and call on your spiritual team once again to help you to create these things. You possess the tools that you need to shift any circumstance. And whenever you feel like you've exhausted the possibilities in terms of trying to fix things in the physical realm, you've done this, you've done that, you went to this person, you've asked that person for help, you've gone to this job, you know, whatever it is that you feel like you've done a lot of things in the physical realm and you still feel like those doors are still shut, it's just a sign that the Most High has given you and your spiritual team has given you, that's saying this is not a physical solution. You can't solve this through those things that you're doing physically. This is a problem that needs to be solved and cleared out in the spiritual realm. And so this is what allows you to balance your spirituality with your practicality, because this is something that you take with you throughout your entire life. And you pass this down to your children so that they recognize that, you know, we are spirits having a human experience. And so you can't discount the spiritual nature of your existence. You can't discount the fact that there was a lot of spiritual beings that was working up against you. There was a lot of energetic manipulation and all of these things. And so as a spiritual being, you start to realize, okay, everything can be solved through physical action. Now, I'm not saying that that's not necessary, because we wouldn't be having a human experience if there wasn't physical action that we needed to take in order to open up doors. But I'm saying when you have exhausted the possibilities in the physical realm and you feel like, okay, how am I going to get through this? Use your spiritual tools that you've been gifted with to open up those doors and to clear things out, okay? So let me just pull a few more cards here. I'm going to pull from a different deck. If you all desire a private reading from me, you can always email me, okay? I do charge for my private readings. So then you have here throat chakra. And then you have lighten up, okay? So I feel like becoming lighter, offloading, releasing, okay? Because that energy of fear is very heavy. And it can also be very, very paralyzing. The energy of fear can cripple you and put you in this energy of being stuck, feeling like you don't have any way around it. Let me find that card. It just fell, y'all. I want to show y'all. This is what the energy of fear does. It has you feeling trapped, like you can't move. You see what I'm saying? Fear is very paralyzing and crippling. And so I do feel that with this energy of lighting up, it's like offloading these bars, offloading this heavy, burdensome energy that has you feeling like you can't take this leap of faith, because I feel like y'all have done the work. Okay, so the opportunities are now presenting themselves. The doors are opening, and so it can be kind of scary, you know, not really knowing what's on the other side of that door, what it's going to look like. But it's, like I said, it's better to walk into that with this energy of eagerness and happiness and enthusiasm and excitement for the unknown. Be excited about those things that are unknown, because it allows you to explore new possibilities with a much more open mind, okay? And it opens up your imagination so that those thoughts that you are putting out there into the universe, you're creating in that moment. And so I feel like with the throat chakra and lighten up, I feel like this is with your thoughts, because throat chakra, I don't just see that as being your ability to communicate. I see it as your ability to, whatever thoughts, whatever words that you are sending out into the universe. If you look at it like this, from this standpoint, every word that you speak, just imagine that you see those words in the spiritual realm, okay? Every word that you speak, you can see those words, and each word eventually is forming something, okay? So if you're saying, I am strong, I am creative, I am wonderfully and you know, beautifully made, I am intelligent, I am powerful, I am at peace, I am love, I attract love. You're literally creating something there. But the same goes for the opposite effect. So if you're saying, I'm only going to attract people to me that's going to do the same thing in the past. Ain't no good people out here. You can't trust nobody. These people is always doing this, that, and the third. Of course, it's great to be able to see things and have that discernment. Yes, you have that discernment. But again, that armor is no longer needed, because it was necessary when you was battling up against things, when you wasn't necessarily seeing things from a spiritual perspective, though. But now, because you see it from a higher perspective, you can take that armor off, because you recognize you got a strong posse behind you. You got a strong spiritual team that's backing you. And, you know, all you got to do is call. All you got to do is let them know, hey, this is where I need some help. This is what I need to clear out, whether it's external to you or internal, whether it's spiritually or physically. You possess the authority to call on them whenever you need help to get past something, okay? And so I do feel like this is the throat chakra energy of what you speak through your thoughts is what you need to become lighter in, more free flowing with, okay? It could also even be when it comes to your actual communication, though, lightening up when it comes to the way that you communicate with others, because that also creates an energy. So I do feel that it's very important to be careful with the way that you're handling certain conversations. And I can say, you know, myself, some people have been trying to test me, and I've found myself having to balance myself back out. You know, things can get a little heightened, bring it back down a few notches, and know that this is only a snapshot moment of your life. It's not the end all be all, but you don't want that energy to create a negative karmic energy for yourself, because you're matching someone who's in a low vibrational energy, okay? So then you have here, breathe through the tensions and make time for self-love. So that goes right along with what I just said. Breathe through the tension. So in spite of what's happening around you, there's always different ways that you can shift the energy. Deep breathing exercises is a very wonderful thing. I see water here. Taking a spiritual bath is very helpful. Using your tourmalines, your crystals, your dark crystals, whenever you're going into the presence of certain people or places or whatever the case may be. I just feel like definitely getting out into nature. If you feel like things are starting to feel too closed in, or you feel like you're starting to become too entrapped in your own thoughts here, get out and go outside. That way it's going to help you to expand your imagination when you get outdoors. Then, of course, make time for self-love. So that is an act of self-love, okay? Getting outside, balancing yourself, saying your prayers, your meditation, deep breathing exercises, connecting to nature is a powerful act of self-love. And so this is going to help you to eliminate that energy of fear. So let me pull from a different deck here and see what else needs to come out in this message. So here you have harmony coming out here. So staying balanced, balancing your thoughts with those things that, you know, with those matters of the heart, balancing the head and the heart. Okay. So I do see that harmony is necessary. The number 7 has come out a lot. So that's definitely dealing with spirituality. If you've been seeing the number 7, I've seen a few number 5s here. I do have the, and a few number 8s here. Here's another number 8. So traveling. So some of you might have been seeing the number 5, the number 7, the number 8 a lot. But there is this energy of traveling here. Let me clarify traveling. So some of you might be getting ready to travel, or you might be traveling a lot. What is traveling? Okay, look at that, guidance. So this is you taking that spiritual path, I feel. You're taking that spiritual path, and you can't always see the way ahead. You can't always know what's to come ahead of you. Because some things just, you know, it can be a little bit obscured until you get close, you know, a little bit closer to that goal. But either way, you're traveling and you're being guided. You have angelic guidance all around you. And so this person here in this card, if you can see them, yes, that person right there, her eyes are closed. And she's literally just allowing the angelic guidance of her spiritual team to take her where she needs to go. So it's like, I'm not overly focused on what things look like around me. I'm just going to feel my way through this. Intuitively, I feel like I'm guided to take this direction. You know, I'm given the synchronicities, and those spiritual messages are coming through that's saying, go this way. My spiritual team is guiding me. They're you know, but it's something that's free flowing. It's not something that's being forced. There's no, you know, and there's this energy of the least amount of resistance on your behalf. I feel like that's very important when it comes to the guidance. You'll be able to go, like your spiritual navigation system will work a lot better when you are just naturally going with the flow and not resisting the changes that are happening. Then it's like, okay, I understand why this situation had to come down in the physical realm, because in the spiritual realm, there was a mountain right there. And so that the physical reflection of that mountain being moved is that person had to be removed. So you don't always have the answers as to why that situation had to come down or why that relationship ended up going south. But when you see it from a spiritual perspective, then it's like, oh, now I see, because that person spiritually, there was a blockage that they brought into my life, maybe because of some sort of internal blockage they had. Maybe because they doubted my potential. Maybe because they limited my potential through their own thoughts and expectations of me. They might not have said it out loud, but maybe that's something that they felt, and they was projecting that energy off onto me in a spiritual realm. And so it created a mountain in a spiritual realm as long as I continue to hold on to them. When you see it from that perspective, then anything that has to be cleared out, you know, person, place, or thing, you rejoice in it. And it's like, okay, so now that's cleared out, so I can go ahead and take this path. You don't try to hold on to it or resist the change, or try to, you know, resist allowing it to come to a full close. You just accept it for what it is, and you keep moving ahead. You keep traveling ahead, knowing that your spiritual team is guiding you in that direction. And so let me see, I'll pull a couple more from here, and then I'm going to look into my other chakra cards to see what things that, what chakras you all can focus on clearing out. And then I'll close out the message, okay? So let's see. Oh, that flew way down there. Hold on. Okay, so we have compromise. So some of you may be coming into a space where you are being called to balance things out, because that is the number 6 again. So to bring some balance and harmony into a situation through the energy of compromise here. And right at the bottom of the deck, we have going with the flow. So that's exactly what I was speaking about, going with the flow of your circumstances with the least amount of resistance here, okay? And allowing yourself to, because this person is in, you know, they're in water, just flowing in the water, just freely gliding and just floating in this water. So water does deal with your emotions. So it's like, you know, whatever emotions pass through, you accept them and you don't allow it to become the end all be all. Okay. So, okay, you might go back into this energy of, you know, you're thinking about the past, or you're feeling some type of way about certain situations that had to come down, but you don't stay in that energy for long. You don't allow it to become, you don't allow it to overtake you. You see what I'm saying? This person is flowing freely in this water, so you don't drown in your emotions is what I'm saying. You glide through those emotions. You go through the waves, the ups and downs of however you have to feel as these changes are happening, and you accept it for what it is, and it allows you to maintain that harmony internally. So I feel like there is this energy of compromising, though, maybe with one other person or with a situation, compromising with the changes that are happening here. And so this postponement is here. Something has been postponed until you're able to see things from a more colorful perspective. So I feel like you have done the work. You have climbed this mountain. You have reached the top. A new start is here. You have the opportunity to embrace and to take advantage of these opportunities, but because the energy of fear is still kind of hindering you from taking that leap of faith, then things are postponed until you can see things from a brighter and more colorful perspective. Okay. And when you are able to shift your vision and your perception of what's happening around you, then that's when you will have the green light to take that jump. Because at that point, you're light in your energy. That's why you had the card of lighten up. You're lighter in your energy because you're not jumping with the energy of fear. If you just imagine taking a leap with the energy of fear. That could end up, you know, it can turn out pretty chaotic, okay? It can have a bad ending when you're doing something from fear. But when you're doing it from a space of faith and you just have a knowing that everything is going to be okay and that you're going to land on your feet, then it's much easier to take that leap of faith. And it allows you to have that fresh start with a really good energy, with a light energy, okay? And so this is why if you feel like things are not moving in certain areas of your life, it's because you're being called to release the energy of fear so that you can be prepared to take that leap. So let me pull in terms of any chakra blockages that needs to be worked on. If you find that the messages that are written on here resonate with what you might be feeling or what you might intuitively know is blocking you out, then I would say be intentional about writing these things down so that you can burn and release them out of your energy. So let's see. You have here, okay, so you need to detox your vessel mentally. So mental detox. So some of you all, you're overthinking situations, and so it could be, like I said earlier, negative thoughts that have been coming in that you want to clear out for sure before you take this leap of faith. So detoxing your vessel mentally. Let's see what else is coming out. You have here anxiety when communicating. So we did have the throat chakra come out here. This is another throat chakra card. Some of you are being called to communicate your truth in regards to a person, place, or thing that you desire here. So whether it's you speaking your truth, if you have a calling that requires for you to speak to many people, and you might have anxiety when it comes to that, or if it's you speaking your truth to someone who is a potential love interest, then clearing out your throat chakra when it comes to that. Whatever the case may be, anxiety when communicating is something that needs to be removed here. You also have here, you can trust the person you question. As you heal, you will become more open to connections. So these cards are all mixed up, y'all. Some of these are not supposed to be in this deck, but I don't see anything as being a coincidence. Coming right out after anxiety when communicating. Some of you have anxiety communicating with maybe a particular person because you wonder if you can trust them. And I do feel that you can trust this person. And as you continue to heal and offload any fears that you have based on the things that you've gone through in the past, you'll be able to see it more clearly, and it'll allow you to open up to this connection and more transparent communication. So you do have third eye chakra is also coming out here. So seeing things from a spiritual perspective is very important at this time, because that's going to help you. You have your solar plexus. So this deals with codependency. If you have any codependencies that need to be cleared out here, definitely be intentional about destroying and releasing that. So I feel like so far the dominant energy, throat chakra, is very important for you all at this time, because it's come out from the other deck as well as this one. I feel like also when it comes to the energy of fear, the root chakra, because oh my gosh, this is what I'm holding right now. I didn't even read it. Fear of losing control. So this is where it's coming from, fear of losing control. So I feel like when you are used to certain things happening in your life, you feel like you have a certain amount of control over them because it's a familiar situation, familiar person, place, or thing. And so it's like, okay, I know how to handle this person. I know how to handle this type of situation because this has happened 1,000,001 times before. But when you're embarking on unknown, uncharted territory, then that's where that fear can creep in, because it's like, well, shoot, what if I run into a situation that I've never dealt with before, or a type of opportunity that I could, that I could never imagine? How am I going to, deal with that? This is so unfamiliar. You fear losing control of the situation. And so this is where, like I was speaking on root chakra, fear deals with the root chakra because it puts you in survival mode, and you do not want to be in the energy of surviving. You want to be in the energy of thriving at all times. Survival mode should only kick in during emergency situations. Many people live their entire life in survival mode, and that's where health issues come from. That's where, many different stumbling blocks happen because of projecting that energy of fear throughout their entire life, okay? And so fear of losing control, this is where you go with the flow. You don't worry about trying to control the narrative of everything. You just allow life to just, just go with the flow. So I destroy and I release all fear of losing control. I destroy and I release all codependency that I have on controlling the narrative of my life. I destroy and I release all anxiety when communicating. I destroy and I release all fear of new beginnings and things that are unfamiliar to me, in spirit and in flesh, and burn it, okay? So pleasure-seeking addictions. Some of you, might not be for everyone, some of you need to work on clearing out pleasure-seeking addictive behaviors. So this will be dealing with your sacral chakra. So whether it's a codependency on substance, alcohol, anything that's external to you that's going to bring a temporary pleasure, this is where you want to work on your sacral chakra. I destroy and I release all pleasure-seeking addictions and behavior patterns. I destroy and I release all codependent behavior patterns. I destroy and I release all energies that guided me to attaching to these codependent behavior patterns in spirit and in flesh, okay? Because that will block your sacral chakra. And when you have a blocked sacral chakra, then your creative gifts become blocked. You might not know what your purpose is, what that looks like for you, what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. If you're a writer, you can have writer's block. If you whatever it is that you do, it'll block your creativity. But it's not just going to block those creative things that you do in the physical realm. It could also block your spiritual ability to be the co-creator of your life and to imagine those things that you want and to bring them into fruition through the energy of thought, feeling, okay, and what you speak. All of these things are constantly creating. And so if you have a closed off or very narrow perspective of the infinite possibilities, you don't even see infinite possibilities. You just see a very narrow perspective. Well, I can only make money from this direction, or I can only receive love from this person because I'm used to them, or, I can only do this or that because of XYZ. Then you cut yourself off from so many different possibilities. And so healing yourself of all pleasure-seeking addictive behavior patterns is very important. And that is one thing that takes consistent effort. Fasting is a very good way of healing from addictive behavior patterns. of course, destroying and releasing it, declaring and decreeing that it is no longer going to have control over you or your life is very important. Again, if you feel like you've taken many different avenues in the physical realm to overcome certain behavior patterns or addictive behavior patterns, then that's when you're being called to shift it and to balance it out by taking action in the spiritual realm to clear out the blockages that's in the spiritual realm that could be causing you to feel drawn to certain repetitive behavior patterns that are not in alignment with your highest good. So I'm going to take one more card and I'm going to close out. I got two here that came out. I have, there it is again, pleasure-seeking behaviors. This needs to be worked on and cleared out. So if you have awareness of what it is, that's the first start. That's a very powerful tool to have, is awareness. So once you have awareness, then, okay, I have awareness of how to alchemize this energy by using the spiritual tools. I know what I can do to shift my energy and to divert my attention to something that's healthier. Listening to sacral chakra frequencies, using crystals such as citrine or carnelian is very good. Drinking orange smoothies, whether you're adding mangoes, coconuts, oranges, carrots, you know, mix you up a really nice orange smoothie every day while you're fasting. And, you know, take you a spiritual bath, a salt bath. Whatever it is that you need to do, do it consistently until you completely tackle that addictive behavior pattern. Then you also have here aggression and lack of self-love. So something about the solar plexus where you're needing to know how to redirect your emotions. So with the throat chakra, many of you might have had to suppress a lot of things, or maybe you felt like you had to suppress a lot of things in your past that you was going through, a lot of changes that you really couldn't talk to a lot of people about because you had to, you know, these changes involved the elimination of a lot of people. And so it might have left you with a very limited number of people that you could actually communicate your truth with and to offload these things with. And so when you suppress things, it can create this energy of anger. And if you don't know how to direct that into turning it into righteous indignation, okay, now my anger is not directed towards necessarily a person. It's directed towards the energy, the spirit that's behind that thing. So let me attack it from this angle, from a spiritual perspective. Knowing how to shift that energy and direct it in a way that's going to be beneficial to you and that's going to be beneficial to your circumstances is very important. So solar plexus, you can use crystals like tiger's eye. You know, the solar plexus can also be great. Sun gazing can help with the solar plexus because it's yellow, wearing the color yellow, listening to the frequency. So whatever you all need to do, use the tools, be consistent, eliminate, and then create. So I love you all. Thank you all for joining me. If you want a private reading, email me. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment below, and I will talk to you all next time.